Tell you what, it was pretty dicey, I would say, maybe about an hour ago, and you heard some of that as I was speaking with you. You heard a confrontation. Some protesters are yelling back and forth. It got so a little scary here that I thought that they were going to that they're going to actually duke it out. However, it never got to that point. The sheriff's deputies never had to move in, but this side is all cleared out. It is very quiet. The only people left right now is the media, but this area was on lockdown because on the other side of the barriers, if you can see that, on the other side of the barriers were an army at the time, an army of sheriff's deputies to make sure that no one got close to where Mr. Trump was being booked at the time. And anyone who stepped beyond that barrier, they said that they were going to arrest them, whether there were protesters or the media. But it has been okay right now, no problems at all. Now, I've been told that my other colleague, Joe Ripley's on the other side of the jail where I'm standing right now, where he actually saw the motorcade come in and he saw a lot more security as well. Joe?
And it was a smooth process, Ron, that motorcade coming in and out very quickly. About 15 minutes. That's all it took for former President Donald Trump to make his way here inside the Fulton County Jail, get processed, have his fingerprints taken, a mugshot taken, which you saw there at the top of this newscast, and then he was well on his way back to the Atlanta airport. All of that made possible by security, joint efforts by local, state, and federal law enforcement, all the way from the Atlanta police level, Fulton County Sheriff's Office, Georgia State Patrol, and even Secret Service agents, which we saw plenty of surrounding the Fulton County Jail. Coordinated efforts by the FBI, GBI, making sure that any threats were quashed, making sure that all intelligence gathering was going to make it safe. We saw a drone and a helicopter, many motorcycles paving the way for the former president as he made his way into the Fulton County Jail. We'll send things back to you as things are quieting down. Roads are reopening here outside the Fulton County Jail, but we understand that according to the sheriff's office, heightened security will remain in place through the end of the week as more of those defendants, at least 7 more, have until tomorrow at noon to turn themselves in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Joe. So we have to think about that. I know that former President Donald Trump made his way through, but we have 7 other defendants that we have to look at as well. The other big story for us out here at the Fulton County Jail has been the protesters and also the residents that live nearby and how they were impacted. And my colleague, 11 Alive, Cody Alcorn, is live here as well. He's one of the boots on the ground for 11 Alive to give us that side of the story. Cody?
Yeah, Ron, Rice Street is back open, and typically around this time that we have been out here, it's when you will see a lot of the inmates who get released throughout the evening. They'll start walking down the sidewalk here because usually for a normal person, you have to go through that process. You don't get to set all of this up beforehand and be escorted out. So things are getting a little bit back to normal here, but if you can see here behind me, still a lot of journalists here. In fact, these are all the folks still here talking about what just transpired in the last couple of hours with the president, former president coming here. We've seen neighbors out and about as well. They've just been kind of coming out to watch journalists here. Many of them right now on national networks, so getting an eye on what happens behind the scenes. Other neighbors cracking open a beer, walking around. I've seen some with wine glasses, just kind of walking around, taking this all in as they live here. Typically not somewhere they likely come just to hang out here at the Rice Street Jail. As we all know, it is not a nice place inside. Here's some video from earlier tonight as well. This is just an up-close look at what you don't typically see behind the scenes of what it takes to be in front of the camera here. There's so many crews that make that possible. Very hot today, 93, 94 degrees out here. A lot of these folks been out all day long taking in the heat here. So glad everyone was safe tonight. Protesters-wise, you know, what I heard from a lot of folks is for Trump to put this on his social media, for a lot of others to advertise this. There really weren't that many even supporters that showed up as well from what people thought would happen. And many who lined this street were very disappointed because, as you know, he did not come in this main entrance. He came in over the intake entrance over on Jefferson Street. So right now, just a lot of journalists wrapping up their coverage. And of course, we still have some more co-defendants that will be turning themselves in over the next 12 hours.
Yeah, there you go. And you know, this is something important to talk about too, Cody, because you made reference to the weather. It is very hot, and it was very hot out here. As a matter of fact, it got so hot that one of the protesters had to be taken away by ambulance over to Grady because they were suffering from a heat-related injury. Deputies surrounded that person. Protesters from both sides were fanning him. We were handing the sheriff's deputies ice to try to cool him down. He finally was able to get into the ambulance and went on to Grady as well. All right, thanks, Cody, for there. We're going to head over to Savannah Levins and Nick to